Politically speaking, things have been moving on both sides of the 49th parallel, so I think that it's appropriate, because both governing bodies are so inexorably linked, we might as well package both stories into one convenient video, mostly because, well, the American side of things, I mean, we're in the waning days of the Biden presidency, but that doesn't mean he can't provide us with such hilarious visuals, like trying to put the Presidential Medal of Freedom on the neck of Magic Johnson. Why? Because you like his theaters? I guess that's fine. I guess he's like, of the people that we're gonna see, like especially con artist Bono. I mean, his charity, like, it got exposed, like, what, over a half decade ago at this point in time of maintaining and holding on to, like, 90% of the proceeds it gets. Like, it's a big scam. And U2 is arguably the most overrated band. It's, for me, yeah, it's either U2 or the Red Hot Chili Peppers that are up there, and to be completely honest, I can at least find some value in the Chili Peppers as opposed to U2, biggest Irish disgrace ever, being awarded by the second biggest Irish disgrace ever. But yeah, Magic Johnson getting the award, I mean, it's not like it hasn't been besmirched by lesser recipients before. The fact that Biden had to be the one to award Jane Goodall, of all people, the award. I thought she would have got it before. Like, that one actually threw me for a loop. But Bill Nye, the pretend science guy, like, what are we doing here? A professional actor, a guy who's got, what, a master's in aeronautics? Like, yeah, at least USA Today has it down appropriately, not trying to, big him up or anything, but science advocate and television host. Yeah, he gets awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for being the bigger advocates for locking people down during 2020 and 2021. Yeah, interesting. Michael J. Fox getting it for one of his, especially the way that he's looking, okay, one of his last remaining public outings, at least he had the opportunity to accept the award and the recognition while he was still of his own recognizance, as most as he can, so that's all right. Denzel getting the award, I mean, that's another guy I'm shocked hadn't received the award before, but there was a couple of other fashion people, like Ralph Lauren, that's like, again, how long have they been out there? Editor-in-chief at Vogue, like, Biden got all of his friends down there to help celebrate the last couple of weeks he has in office, but there are 3 people who received this award that made me physically sick to my stomach. The least repulsive, okay, and that says quite a lot. The fact that Mitt Romney is the least repulsive recipient of the top 3, it kind of lets you know, but the Presidential Medal of Freedom is supposed to be the highest honor given to a citizen, given to the rank and file of the American people. Romney's been on the government tit for how long? Thank God he's finally leaving Congress. But what exactly has he done outside of lose to Joe Biden in 2012? Be a shit governor for Massachusetts and then carpetbag over to Utah for an easy senator spot. Like, what has he actually provided for the electorate? Disgusting. And Alex Soros, son of philanthropist George Soros, are you having a laugh? Bro, I don't want to hear any other leftists complaining about how much special treatment Elon Musk gets from Trump over the next 4 years, okay? Because George Soros's kid, before he's done anything, like the heir to one of the biggest subversionist fortunes in the world, is getting anything that has freedom attached to it, get out of here. But the most nauseating recipient, Hillary Clinton, are you, what, like, that boggles the mind right there. Presidential Medal of Freedom. Somebody who has gotten how many people killed? No, I'm not talking about the unofficial Clinton body list. I'm talking about Benghazi. I'm talking about Libya. I am talking about every single thing that she signed off as either a state senator, secretary of state, or as first lady. And Denzel's face in the background that you can kind of see, just, really? Seriously? I'm on the same dais as this mass murderer? Huh. Weird. Disgusting. But at least, outside of his farewell address, which I'd imagine he'd probably deliver next week or something like that, mumble it into his evening stew. Like, this is going to be one of the last things that Joe Biden does as president. Thank God he'll show up to inauguration and then deuces after that. I don't know, maybe he's got to put together Jimmy Carter's funeral or something like that. I don't know, maybe his family member can get tips and mark down a couple of things that Joe likes, so next year he can have the same final considerations. But earlier on Monday, the 4-year anniversary of January 6th, we had another certification go down, and yes, it was another historic day, as for the first time we got to see a woman break the glass ceiling. Yes, indeed. Now we can have young dreamers out there look up to Kamala Harris as being the first woman to ever certify her own resounding electoral defeat. You love to see it. It went off without a hitch. Mike Johnson pulled a couple of funny faces, but outside of just simply reading that everything was on the up and up, it was a rather humdrum affair. I watched some of it, and listening to Amy Klobuchar's voice was like nails on a chalkboard, but you gotta do it in order to celebrate the turning of the tide down south. And who knew that would only be the second biggest news of the day, because something that I didn't think was ever likely to happen, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes a ton of sense, actually, moving forward, because Justin Trudeau announced that he's going to be resigning as Prime Minister of Canada. It's a great day. It really is a great day for Canada. I have a couple of reservations about it, and I'm not quite as, over the moon as a bunch of other people are. Oh my god, ding dong, the witch is dead. Oh, he's finally leaving. His decade of destruction is over. Not so fast, okay? He's also, okay, as it is pointed out in several other pickers, chyrons, and clips that have gone around, he's at least going to be sticking around as Prime Minister until March 24th. He is staying on as Prime Minister until the Liberal Party can find a leader or a patsy that'll be in place. Because if he actually cared about the health of Canada, which Canadians have known for a long time, he definitely hasn't. He would have went into Parliament, he would have dissolved Parliament, and we would be heading to the polls in the very near future. But instead of prolonging this, just dragging it out for as long as possible, I don't think we're heading for an election, which is we're supposed to be. This will be 4 years, and we won't be going to the polls until the fall. I don't imagine, because, okay, even if, okay, this Parliament is currently suspended, prorogue until March 24th. Even if there is a vote of no confidence, even if the Liberal Party puts forward a motion and it gets shot down and the NDP decides to dissolve their faux majority agreement, which I don't know why Jagmeet Singh would do that, because that guy, if you think Justin Trudeau is power hungry, you ain't seen nothing quite as narcissistic as that incredibly well-dressed cab driver. No, let's see the way that other people are covering this, because they seem to be over the moon, which, yeah, I'm happy he's gone. Don't get this twisted. But he's setting up somebody else to take the blame for his 10 years of awful governorship. And I use that term appropriately because at least Trump has responded to this. Many people of Canada love being the 51st state. I like the idea of it. As long as we could, I don't know, man, like if we can kind of bisect the country a little bit. It's like the West can be the 51st, okay? Because if you're reading it like a book, it'll be the 51st. And then you can just, make the less productive, as Scott Moe, Premier of Saskatchewan, has it appropriately put out. Like we got the equalization payment schedule, which is basically a bunch of greedy Eastern countries, or provinces rather, sucking off the productive teat of the West. Like $13.6 billion Quebec gets this year. This is ridiculous, okay? $4.7 billion from Manitoba. I was giving them way too much credit. Here I was thinking that they were actually productive in some form or fashion, but no, they're a joke. Nova Scotia getting $3.5 billion. Are we, what? $3.1 billion to New Brunswick? Bro, those are the two places, alongside Newfoundland, obviously, and, PEI. But I worked with a lot of people from Nova Scotia and New Brunswick out there in the oil patch. They all leave to come and work in Alberta. Like, why are we sending so much money to these empty places? So no, BC, and that's normally northern BC, where all of the oil and gas production happens, and in Alberta for sure, and Saskatchewan is finally catching up. But the West is overwhelmingly subsidizing these terrible policies that allow idiots to elect the likes of other idiots, such as Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh. So yeah, if we could do something about this, incoming whoever's going to have control moving forward, it's supposed to be Pierre Poilievre, which again, I'm not the biggest proponent of. A lot of people on social media who are fly-by-night Canada experts think that he's going to be the second coming of Trump. No, man, okay, we've seen right-wing nationalists around the world promise the world and then end up delivering slop. You remember Giorgia Meloni? Okay, that chick that was supposed to make Italy great again? What was the first thing that she did? All right, swing the borders wide open and allow mass immigration. Oopsie daisy, she was supposed to be this hardline right-winger, right? Right, yeah, no, exactly. Geert Wilders over in Norway, Marine Le Pen, all of these people, they were supposed to come in and make big sweeping changes, but in reality, some of them failed to get elected, or when they did, they ended up walking back all of their strongest policies. I've seen a lot of cool sound bites out of Pierre, but I haven't seen a lot of action, and he's been in Parliament, and he's been in control of the Conservative Party for how many years now? Yeah, when the trucker convoys were out there this time in 2022, a couple of years ago, where was he? Oh, right, grandstanding on them getting tyrannized in the comfort of his Ottawa office. Didn't do a goddamn thing for them until they were all gone, and then he went outside and shot his little phone camera video and went, oh, look at what Trudeau did to them. But you didn't go out there and address them. You didn't go out there and support them. I don't trust him at all. Trust him more than Trudeau, but that's not saying much. What did Trump have to say about this? Anyways, the United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the United States, there would be no tariffs, taxes, and it would go way down, and there would be totally secure from the threat of the Russian and Chinese spy ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. I tend to agree, and it makes it seem so easy, mostly because Canadian exceptionalism, Canadian economic freedom is really as simple as Trump is going to make it in about 2 weeks' time. Just lay off the regulation, let Alberta, Saskatchewan, and northern BC drill, baby, drill, and we will be prosperous very, very quickly, which is why Trudeau dragging out this entire process makes me sick to my fucking stomach. This cocksucker is so hubristic. He just wants to appoint a patsy because he doesn't want to be in Parliament when his government gets shot down and then he experiences a humiliating defeat at the polls, because everything seems to point to an overwhelming majority for Pierre Poilievre, or however you pronounce the dumb shit French cocksucker last name. No, he wants to be on the outside looking in, okay, because he's still going to be a member of Parliament. No, of course, he's just resigning as the leader of the party. He'll stay in the backbench for a minute, and then once the election is called, then he'll just quietly remove his name from his writing, and then he'll just begin the Barack Obama sympathy tour in the aftermath. He'll write a book, do 5 to 6 digit speaking gigs, and in about a year or two's time, he'll be able to spin the narrative of, well, actually, I was never really allowed to enact my policies. I was really hamstrung by 2 terms of a minority government. I only had the majority, and there was so much cleanup I had to do from Stephen Harper from 2015 to 2019 when I had a majority, but it was a slim majority after that, and I constantly had to work with the NDP. He's already got all of these built-in excuses, and he's shielding himself from ever having to go through full and comprehensive investigations for his 5 separate ethics violations. This guy is the biggest crook in Canadian politics, and he's going to be able to just walk away all scot-free because, oh boy, hey guys, look, isn't it so exciting? Canada's finally going to be getting a proper prime minister without ever finally bringing this cocksucker to task. Of course not. He's going to be able to skate on everything. We should just be happy for the opportunity to just hand the reins over to some other globalist puppet like Pierre. If you've seen some of his sound bites, not the ones where he's just condescendingly eating an apple for idiots to just go, oh, look at how based he is, just asking, well, who's saying that? Who's saying that? Nah, man, simping for foreign countries around the world that don't have Canadian interests at heart. Yeah, that's who we're going to be dealing with. Not excited about the future of this country. Excited about the future of Alberta, and I hope I'm wrong about Pierre. But whenever a Frenchman is in charge of this country, shit's about to hit the fan. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.